All right, awesome. So I'm Felipe. My student ID number is 23781592, and then I'm here to show you my calculator. So first, let's just walk quickly through my design here. So I have a little icon for the calculator to make it cooler, and then that's my design. It's pretty close to what we have in the document, but you cannot make it perfect anyway. So first I want to just show all of my buttons working. So for that I will use, so just start from number 0 to 9. So let's do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, so that's working. Cool. So let's do a -1. So for that I will just change the operator here to negative, and then use 9, for example. So it's going to be a negative 9. And then to clear just only the numbers, the last numbers, I can use the backspace button right here. So if you click that, it clears the last buttons. And to clear the whole display, I will use just the button C here. So it clears the whole display, right? Cool. So now let's do a couple of simple operations first. So maybe let's start with just a very simple one. So 1 plus 2. So it's 3. That's right. And then if you start a new operation, we will notice that the display automatically clears itself. So it understands as a new input. So you don't need to press C or clear all the time again. So that's how a real calculator would work, right? So after you finish the operations, it starts again. So let's do a 2 minus 1, for example, and then we get the result as 1. That's right. Let's do a -1 now, maybe. So let's get a negative operator there, 2, and then let's do +2 there. So positive number equals 2, right? 0. That's right. So if with the multiplication is gonna be 4. It's working. Cool. And then now let's do 2 times 2 equals 2, 1. Awesome, working. Now with the factorial, let me show you how it works. So with the factorial, so I use the number here. I use the factorial number button, sorry. But in this case, I actually didn't want to spend much time on just making a logic just for one number and then pressing equal, let's say, and then it gives me the factorial, right? So in this case, it's actually expecting one more number, which in this case, it will be 4 again, of course, but it's actually only considering the first number here, so which is the 4, the first 4, and the factorial. But because I didn't want to spend much time of, I'm pretty sure it should be something very easy, but anyway, it's working. So let me show you right here. So if you do that, it's 24, okay? But yeah, just because I didn't want to change the whole logic only for this operation itself, but it should be something easy, just because I didn't want to spend much more time trying to fix that. Well, but it's working. Cool. So now with all of these simple operations working, let's jump into a multiple operations, right? So let's start with the parentheses 1. So open parentheses 2, let's do +2, close the parentheses, and then let's do times 4. So hit OK, hit equal, sorry, and then okay, so then becomes 16. So that's right. So if we do 2 plus 2, so that's 4. 4 times 4, 16. Okay, cool. Now let's do without the parentheses to see if my operations are working in a proper order, right? So let's do 2 plus 2, and then it's exactly the same times 4. And if I hit OK there, equals, so equals to 10, right? So if you do 4 times 2, so that's going to be 8 plus 2, 10, right? So that's working just perfect. Very, very cool stuff. So now let's jump into, let's check for the incorrect syntaxes of it. So let's say if the user's input, so let's say 1 plus, I don't know, multiplication and whatever number here, and I press OK, it says, let me open this up. So error, the use of operator is not valid. So it's a not valid operator. Same if you do, something silly like this, it's gonna, consider that the dot as an operator as well. So yeah, +2, let's say, and then yeah, exactly the same. Okay, I'm also checking for if you open a parenthesis and then you forget to close. So if you do like that and then you press OK, it says that the parenthesis must have open and close in expression. Okay, awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much the calculator. So now if you press off button, it closes. So yeah, it's perfectly working. Just quickly go through my code. Let me open up here. I make this a bit bigger. So my code looks quite a lot of lines, but it's very, very straightforward. So the way that I'm doing to display, actually to use my layout to display my calculator is using the grid bed constraints. So this layout's pretty easy to use. It's very manageable too, so I can manage my buttons and put them whenever I want. So in any place that I want. So just using these X and Y coordinators. So this for the display. I can play with the size of it, so with the width, um, you know, all of that. So I can change the fonts, I can change colors, and I'm using these because it's I believe is the simplest way to do that. There's probably another ways to do it, but for me that was the easiest and more straightforward without thinking much. Just how to do it that thing, and it works pretty well. So the only thing the pain was the only thing that was a bit of pain. It was to create each button by itself. So I had to create each button. So let's say button one, button two, and then for each of them, I have a specific size and places to be. That's just the only thing that took me more work to do. But yeah, but then each button have an action listener method that takes if it's a number or if it's an operation listener. So it registers here what is actually. So yeah, that's the two types that I have. So after creating all of that, so everything's commented. I mean, everything is very easy to understand. And then here we start pretty much the logic of. So here's my listeners, and then as I was talking before, so if you see the input, it considers if there's a new entry or not. If it is, and then it sets the input as a new display, right? Empty string. And yeah, so then after that, it's pretty much logic, very, very easy. I'm also using camel case standards for all my variables, methods, and classes, all of that. So for the classes, I'm using uppercase there, but then for the methods, camel case. Yeah, it looks pretty good, amazing. Really enjoying doing this project. I think I learned a lot doing it. There's always some struggles, some bugs, but I think this is just natural, and I could even extend this calculator a bit further. But I think as far as I consider for this assessment and for what you're assessing, I think I got it pretty much what we need. So of course there will be a couple bugs and stuff like that, but everything's easy, fixable, and manageable. It's just a matter of spending more time with it. But I think for the purpose of what we need is just perfect fine. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.